Hey, it's Tabasco, the unsophisticated biker, and welcome to the Motorcycle Clubhouse podcast. Obviously, this week I want to talk about law enforcement. I was in a conversation with a director, somebody official for a system, not law enforcement, but something similar. And they were discussing a case, and it had said something about filing for a restraining order of this person. And I was like, why? And what good would that do for anybody? And it's just amazing how indoctrinated people are. Like, well, then the law enforcement would have an official record of that, what, so they can fine them. You know how many people probably pass away, and I don't have statistics for a worthless piece of paper, a restraining order. It has no more value than the dollar bill. The dollar bill is just a worthless piece of dirty linen in your pocket. But boy, it sure is coveted in this planet, isn't it? But it's only worth what whoever says it's worth, not you and I, because we'd say it's worth a lot more. But it's just a belief system, just like the or like a restraining order or calling the law enforcement for help. I would suggest to say that in my 55 years on this planet, I don't know that I personally ever witnessed a law enforcement situation that was a positive one, whether it be for me or anybody else. And in that, I mean, not saying it was necessarily negative, other than the fact that it usually involved a fine because we fine everybody to death in this country if we don't lock them up and throw away the key because we are the only republic government on the top 10 list and still number one with the most incarcerated people in the world in this free country of ours that we created. I won't even get into why the politicians can just like burn laws to death and break them constantly and lie about it. But we won't go down. That's a whole different podcast. But I will say that I do understand that law enforcement, they deal with people and no one's guilty. Everybody's innocent. Of course, the laws are a little bit just ridiculous. I mean, there's just so many laws you can't even fart probably without getting a ticket. In fact, laws are so much like laws that if you don't report somebody breaking the law, even though you're not trained in the law, but you didn't report somebody breaking the law, then you can be charged with not reporting somebody else breaking the law, maybe. Get it? And you know what you're going to get? You're probably not going to go to jail. You're going to get a fine, though. You're going to get fined. That's what it's all about. Could you imagine every county, every small town in this country, in every state across the United States, every day, the amount of revenue that they pick up and collect from your local, state level, whatever, federal cases, whatever. We don't have to imagine anymore because I have the answer. I chat GPT'd a trained GPT, and it is a little bit rough to come up with an exact amount, but we're looking at about I don't know, $16 billion a year, billion at the B, $1 billion a year. That's a lot of money. Oh, but sure, got job justification. They got to pay for themselves. They got to pay for the judges. They got to pay for the jails. They got to pay for. I think they charge you to go to jail. But anyway, they got I don't know. It must be really, really, really expensive to keep those courthouses open or something. I don't know. But what I can tell you is that it's not about safety. It's not about helping people. I have seen more. Of course, no one's going to post the average video of nothing happening. Usually, they're only going to post it when something happens. So nothing happens means that you probably just get fined or taken to jail, and nobody really cares. If something happening means that maybe they didn't follow the rules and they got caught, which is like on a daily basis. We know the tricks, man. They came out in unison after the training module must have hit the academy of that. Stop resisting, stop resisting, stop resisting. As the person who hasn't been convicted of a crime yet is squirming and writhing in pain while this adrenaline jockey has got his knee or in his neck or his elbow or twisting his hand behind his back so he's going to snap it off. And because the guy's writhing in pain, that he's resisting. We're going to write you. We're going to arrest you for resisting arrest. What was my original charge? Nothing. But but you are resisting arrest. We have to have something to arrest me for. Nope, no. We can just charge you with resisting arrest. They charge you. They don't convict you. That's for the other piece of the pie. Their brethren in the judges and lawyers cesspool that come from the exact same bucket of doo doo. And they trade people's lives on golf courses. And I know this for a fact because I've been told so by them. So where are we with this? All I can tell you is that's why I don't call the cops. You don't call the cops but yet they've made it literally illegal not to call the cops if you witnessed a crime, but by God, don't get caught witnessing a crime because you might get charged. And that's a true statement because I watched a video last week and it was an event somewhere like at a fairgrounds. And I think they were doing like the spinning the cars, like they do the drifting or burnouts or whatever. Of course, it was like an event, public event, I think. And so, people get a little wound up. And so, as some of those cars, those kids were leaving, they would pull out on the main street and they would hammer it and smoke the tires and whatever. Real, super dangerous, tremendously dangerous, life threatening stuff at from 100 feet from, at like, the tires might be going 50 mile an hour, but the car's going about four. But it wasn't them that they cited. It wasn't them that they had to pay the fine. There was a gentleman who was walking to his car from the event. And he's walking down sidewalk. There were several people. And as these cars would come out, they do a burnout. They were just holding their cameras up or their video phones up and filming it, or maybe they were live. I don't know. Well, by the time they got to the parking lot, boy, here comes the really protective police. The ones that are hiding in the bushes and the trees because they're out there to hiding to protect you and serve you. Yeah, no, they wrote the dude a ticket. He's like, I didn't do anything. I'm walking. Oh no, you were inciting a riot or inciting a whatever it was that they had said. What do you mean? I had nothing to do with those people. I don't even know who they are. They're pulling out there. Well, you were filming it, and that encourages them to continue this behavior. Writing them a ticket, folks. It ain't about safety. It ain't about 72 and a 50 or a 65. It is deadly more dangerous than 67 and a 65, or the people that were blown past you at 85 miles an hour and you were running 73 and just happened to be the fish in the barrel that got picked. It's not about safety. It's about revenue. And there could be no greater example of the fox watching the hen house when they have to A, justify their jobs, and then B, pay for themselves and everybody else for that matter. Well, not even the courts do a good job of sucking it dry too. Isn't it crazy? What would this world do without money? They would lose their mind. I mean, 80% of this planet would lose their fucking mind if they didn't have dirty linen paper in their wallet or fake digits on some computer screen somewhere that tells them that they're somebody, or they can buy a Cadillac instead of a Cavalier. I think everybody should have a Cadillac. They're pretty nice, but you only got Cavalier money if you even got that. You know, we had a situation where something had happened at a private club. It wasn't a motorcycle club across the street from where our clubhouse was, and it was a shooting, and had nothing to do with us at all. But boy, they sure loved to sit on our lot and swarm us. And of course, it was the motorcycle gang that did it. Of course it was. It had nothing to do with us. Nothing to do with us at all. It was a social club, really. And but they just sat right on top of our parking lot. I mean, literally right in front of our clubhouse. We had nothing to do with it. And I told my club brother Lunchbox, I said, we were looking for a set of keys because our dearly departed brother Hopper liked to partake in the herbal medicine, and God rest his soul. And he had broken his arm, and he accidentally dropped his keys in his sling of his arm, and we had a hell of a time finding them, and we looked everywhere. But patrolman pulls up, and Lunchbox was one of my warlords. He is about as West Virginia as you'll ever meet, and he is mountain. He is mountain. That man is mountain. And he said, "Well, you wouldn't say to these cops?" I said, "I wouldn't say nothing to them." He's like, "All right." Well, this cop pulled up, and I wasn't. I was looking for the damn keys, and I come walking up, and this cop pulling away. He's rolling window. He's laughing. And I looked at Lunchbox. I said, "What'd you say?" He goes, "Nothing." I go, "What'd he say?" He said something about, "Oh, you guys must be doing big business because COVID has everything shut down." I go, "What'd you say?" He goes, "Nothing." I go, "You didn't say anything?" He's like, "No, I just stared at him." He goes, "He said something else," and then he just started laughing and pulled away. I go, "Well, I didn't mean like you couldn't be cordial. I mean, I don't hate them all." And he's like, "Boss, you said don't say nothing to him." And you have to know this guy, funny as hell, just standing there, sitting there, staring at the cop. And the cop's like, he's just staring at him, won't say a word. That's some pretty cool shit, though, isn't it? So, anywho, I'm sure there's a time and place that somebody needs law enforcement, and without it, you would think that we would be a society in utter chaos. But yet, for thousands of years, this planet didn't have all areas anyway. At least, I mean, you want to go clear back to Romans or whatever. I'm certain in the big cities in Rome or wherever they had some soldiers or whatever for whatever, the people in charge, because everybody's always got to put them. So isn't it crazy? A planet you come to. I don't know if we have a choice to come here or not, but we get here, we're already indentured servants to somebody, or we're tax slaves, or somebody's better than us because their family was born 1,000 years ago that they never even knew remotely, or even 150 years ago was somebody, and now they're somebody. I mean, they get all that dirty linen paper and all the digits and stuff on their computer screen, and we get shit for Shinola. But anyway, I have never again seen an interaction go well. I have seen many, too many, it go the other way, throwing their weight in authority as if there's somebody flat ass lying to you. I mean, they've lied direct, it's right to my face. I mean, you're the biggest lie. Shut the. I mean, try with somebody else. Have a. I ain't the one. You ain't gonna disrespect me like that because you want to run your mouth and lie. You are a flat ass liar. Again, why our website has at thesophisticatedbiker.com or twistedwindbikermag.com. We have a shop for $12. I would love for $12, man. No wonder this freaking country's falling apart, man. People won't even like spend $12 on a badass T-shirt to support a local and small business trying to grow. 12, wear a T-shirt. Look, man, when I left the club, I had to turn all my property in because it's not my property; it belongs to the nation. And for 10 years almost in that nation, I don't think I wore anything else. That's all I had was I had nothing. So I had to go buy shirts. I had to buy tank tops and particularly my favorite color, and some and t-shirts and stuff. I'm gonna tell you what, and actually 20 years total because I had been in 10 years prior to that. I don't think I've bought many shirts. And I'm telling you what, it was a shocker. $30. I mean, $30 on average for a tank top. $30 for a t-shirt. Everything was $30, and this was a few years ago. So I don't know what they are today in most cases, but I can tell you what, mine's $12. Well, at least it starts at 12 and goes up. Even a long sleeve are $17. I mean, that's Walmart money. Come on, man. But we have a shirt that says, if you break the law, to enforce the law, you are a criminal. And that's the God's honest truth. If you break the law, you ain't nobody. You don't get off without a hook. Get off the hook for breaking the law. You shouldn't anyway. It doesn't justify it. It's a hypocrisy. But you see it over and over and over. And I'll tell you what, I don't disrespect anybody, and I don't give respect to anybody just because who they are. No, that's not true. I suppose if I knew who they are going into a club environment, they are not at the rank they are if they didn't earn it. That I know. So them, I can walk in having just met them. I will offer them the respect. I will offer an officer if I have an interaction, which knock on wood, I have not for a long time. I will generally offer them. I'm not that guy who's going to start quoting whatever and blah blah blah. I don't play games. But you're not going to ask me questions. I don't know. I just simply say I don't know what you're talking about. Don't know what you're talking about. And what irritates me though is it's just about money. They don't do it so much down here in Florida, although I've seen it a little bit. But in Ohio, they have a lot of DUI checkpoints. And of course, they announce where it's going to be. So you're really drunk if you drive through a some bitch because they didn't told you 3 days ago it was going to be, or you've been drunk for 3 days. I don't know which. But the thing is most of the time they don't get any DUIs. So here they are going to violate everybody's rights to travel freely in hopes of if we get one guy off the street, one late girl off the street who's drinking and driving. I mean, who's over the limit. I mean, that's like about a beer and a half. I mean, by Lord, then it's worth it because we could have saved somebody's life. Well, you know what? If your aunt would have had balls, you'd have been your uncle. We could all say that if we wanted to. And I can tell you what, the other 700 or 386 convictions or things that you got off that should be invalid and unconstitutional because they rarely ever get a DUI, but yet they collect revenue. Oh, we had seatbelt violations. We had 27, fire tags or something. I don't know. No proof of insurance. No. Your however you got this shit passed by the injustice system, crooked ass judges who just violated our Fourth Amendment right. But you did. It's searching for DUIs, driving under influence or whatever you guys call them, wherever you're at. It's not about seatbelts. It's not about headlight out. It's not about taillight out. You're just fucking revenues and you're thieves. And if you do nothing else with the podcast, share it, will you? I mean, my God, people, I'm so tired of people saying, "Oh, I support you, I support you," but yeah, they don't even share the damn. They don't even click the share because it's too much inconvenience. And it's not because I get bazillions of dollars. Again, it's because I'm hoping somebody in law enforcement can answer these questions and tell me how do you sleep at night? What makes you feel good? Does it make you feel good? I mean, if you wrote 5 tickets there, if it is seek counsel. I mean, I'm not talking about legal counsel. I'm talking about mental counsel because you got a problem, man. You got you got the testosterone disease. Not enough of it or too much. I don't know which. But figure it the fuck out and stop robbing people on the sides of the roads like the old what they used to call them. I can't remember now. Like gypsies or whatever they would highwaymen, the old highwaymen, I think is what it was, and they were the thieves of the highway back in the king. No, you're robbing the wrong people, man. I ain't Robin Hood. Go rob Robin. Go rob Robin. I don't know. Rob some, yourselves. I don't know. Cite each other. I figure out a way to make money. Sell Girl Scout cookies. I don't know. But stop taking people's money for the dumbest shit in the world, man. It's ludicrous. And I'll be honest with you. Like I said, I've seen the mental health situation in the United States is astronomical. Don't even get me started on why we're giving billions of dollars to countries that we could give two shits about when we don't help our own. But I mean, there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of military out there, men and women who are PTSD. Who I tell you what, when you're mentally out of it, as far as what I've seen, those aren't the times you're making the best decisions about getting help. And I lived with a woman, my wife, my second wife, for 10 years that was diagnosed mental disease. It's not her fault, man. It's no more pleasure to live with, I can promise you. But it's not her fault. It's just a chemical imbalance in her brain that does that. But what you find is when they're taking their medications and everything's right and they're the best people in the world to be with is when they think they don't need it anymore. Oh, I don't need it. I'm fine. No, you're fine because the medicine's working. But it's just a roller coaster. Many of you know what I mean. We got a lot of those people on the streets, and then they're in anguish. And I'll tell you, some people I've seen some individual law enforcement officers, individuals that are righteous men and women, righteous people. I see 9 out of 10 are bullies and punks, bitches and douchebags and adrenaline jockeys and attitude. I'm talking. Yeah, you're screaming at people. Who the fuck do you think you are? I ain't the one. And I don't interact with them much, but I have no problem telling them, hey, buddy, I ain't the motherfucking one. Because you guess what? You live at home and I live at home. You go to the store, I go to the store. You ain't always at work, I ain't always at work. Fuck around, find out, bud, because I ain't the one. Now, get off your little high horse and shut the fuck up because you ain't nobody over me. You have no power over me. You are not power. In fact, you serve me. You work for me. And I ain't usually that guy to throw that bullshit out. Sir, because if it's up to me, if they work for me, I just fire them. But it turns out, they just elect themselves and hire each other. I don't know. I don't even know. It's like the whatever. I ain't gonna go there. I'll probably get banned. I'll get shadow banned. I'll get fined or something. I'm sure I'll get fined, court ordered, hush money or something. I don't know. But I can just tell you this: I don't call 911. How do I handle it? Like a thug. You know what? We're not capable of handling our own interactions because if somebody does you wrong and you go out and an eye for an eye and you do the same thing back, now you're a criminal. We're all criminals. They're criminal. Cops are criminals. Judges are criminals. Obviously, politicians are criminals. We're all criminals together. Can't we just get along? I want to start finding people. I think I'm going to just start sending invoices out to state agencies, federal agencies, and hopefully they'll pay them. I don't know. If anybody's got any insight in that, let me know because I'm just going to start fining them for having to deal with them. I mean, they fine us for everything. But when you enter my world, be polite because I'm the most polite person. I have no beef. I don't pick beefs, man. But I absolutely won't walk away from them, and I don't dial 911. I don't call the cops. Keep it real.